Hi Chelsea fans, Chels Daft here, back with an in-depth Chelsea news update. Extensive, I should say. We're going to look at the games. We're going to look at poor form, especially last night. We're going to look at Thomas Tuchel fuming after the game. We're going to look at the injuries that are mounting up that we've currently got, and also the transfer rumours that are just going through the roof right now. Bearing in mind, we're going to be taking on Liverpool and Man City upcoming in the next two league games, along with the FA Cup. And now we hear that Romelu Lukaku is not happy at Chelsea. The walls are caving in as far as everybody else is concerned. But for us, let's just keep our feet on the ground. Let's just keep a bit of a realistic view on things. Because, as you know, as Chelsea fans, anything can happen. And in 2021, who would have thought Chelsea would have won the Champions League? Step back. Let's just take a deep breath and let's get into this video. No fancy gimmicks. We're just going to get into it. Me to you with the updates. Starting with the game last night against Brighton, the 1-1 draw, where we have to say that Brighton were the better team on the night. Now, there's no qualms with me saying that. I said it on my live match commentaries. If you've never seen them, check them out on my channel. They'll be available for channel members only from the new year, just 99p a month to be a member. But live match commentary and a good community we got going in there in the chat. And also the Chelsea pub will be included within that 99p, where we do live streams where we discuss Chelsea new, Chelsea old, Chelsea retro, favourite players, favourite games, worst players, all that sort of stuff like you would normally do in a pub. I bring that on my channel. So if you're interested in getting involved in those commentaries and also live streams, hit the join button on my channel for just 99p a month. But have a look at the commentary videos that are on my channel to get a feel for what the commentary is like. It's the best Chelsea commentary on YouTube, according to those that watch it. Not my view, what they say kindly enough. Anyway, the game last night was disappointing. Chelsea in control, get the goal from Lukaku and simply switched off. There was numerous times where we had chances to play the right pass and we didn't play the right pass. Callum Hudson-Odoi had a disappointing night for him personally, getting some abuse on social media as well as expected, which is just ridiculous to say, you just expect it. But we didn't do enough to win the game. We had opportunities where we could have played people in and didn't do it. We took shots on where we could have played a final pass. And to their credit, Brighton were a good side. And Basuma in midfield just ran the show. It wasn't until Conte come on in the second half as a substitute that we managed to grasp and get hold of the ball again, because Brighton were that good. And we have to say that. And they fully deserved their 1-1. Now, after the game, Thomas Tuchel obviously was fuming about one of the decisions that was made. Talking about players that, you know, the amount of injuries, we're going to get to that in just a second. But a question that I've got, just to put to all you guys, the Chelsea fans watching this particular video, is he's talking about lack of numbers and things like that. Why doesn't he play Saul yesterday? Out of the games we've got coming up, surely rest those that he did. But Saul is an option. He's been playing well the last couple of games. It looks as though he's got his confidence. And why not play him yesterday? Yesterday was probably an ideal time to play Ross Barkley other than Mason Mount. Why not play Barkley? Kai Havertz had been ill but was back. So why don't you play him for a half and give him some football before we get into Liverpool coming up on the weekend? There's some situations where Thomas Tuchel talks about lack of numbers, but he's not utilising his squad enough in Premier League games where he should be, for me. That's just my own personal opinion. And then what happens after the game? We've got Reece James has got a hamstring pull. Now, they don't know how serious it's going to be. I've not seen anything today to say how long he's going to be out. Andreas Christensen's done his back in. And he felt a knock, obviously. Looked like he was going to come off, but then stayed on for a period of time and played immensely well, I have to say. But he then come off at half-time, replaced by Trevor Chalobah. But then, added to that, of course, you got Thiago Silva, who had felt his hamstring against Villa. He come off, but he didn't pull it. So will he be back for Liverpool? Hopefully he will be. As we know, Ben Chilwell is out for the season. And Conte has been suffering, but he's back in training, as we said. Timo Werner's got COVID. You know, the squad's been decimated with injuries and COVID, and we've had to make do. So let's just talk about December. Heading into December, Chelsea had a great defensive record, as we know. We then take on Watford away. We beat them 2-1, but Watford breached the defence and they score. We then go to West Ham, which was a nightmare game, West Ham. And as we all know, we lost 3-2. 3 more goals conceded. We scored twice and, you know, we got in front twice. Looked comfortable, but West Ham come back into it, and people started asking questions about our defence. Now, we then went and played Zenit, and Zenit away in the Champions League with some changes. With a weakened team, we conceded 3 more goals, one of them, albeit an absolute stunner, in the last sort of dying seconds for Zenit to get an equaliser. And of course, we then finished second in the group, which turns out great because we've ended up with Lille in the Champions League, a good draw. Then after Zenit, we moved on. We took on Leeds at home and we beat them 3-2 with 2 penalties won by TONI, Rudiger, if you can remember, with Jorginho stepping up twice and scoring twice. 2 more goals conceded. What's then followed in the next couple of league games is getting people sort of annoyed, getting people frustrated, and getting people sort of concerned with the amount of injuries and what we're sort of doing at the moment. And you can't be too heavy on Tuchel or the players because injuries, COVID, players are just not fit and they're being thrown in and asked to play when they're not ready, i.e. Kovacic. After Leeds, we took on Everton at home and we drew 1-1. And if anything, that was disappointing. We then went and drew 0-0 with Wolves with their 6 players lined up on the edge of their box defensive. They had a goal disallowed, of course, which was rightly done so, or rightly so, I should say. But Chelsea didn't do enough to win that game either. Didn't do enough to win the game against Everton. Didn't do enough to win the game against Wolves. We then beat Brentford in the EFL Cup. We then beat Aston Villa 3-1 in a good performance. And then we turned up yesterday and we draw 1-1 with Brighton. Those games, the Everton, the Wolves, the Brighton, they're games where, and West Ham arguably, they're games where Chelsea should be coming out of these with 4 points, and we didn't do it. And as a result, we're now 8 points behind Man City. People are talking about Man City and the title being over. Guardiola said, what you're talking about, there's still 54 points to play for. It's far from over, and the teams with quality such as Chelsea and Liverpool will still challenge. And of course we will. Let's just be honest about the situation. Chelsea have had to face adversity of late for a number of different reasons. And hopefully we're going to come through it. Traditionally, December's a bad month for Chelsea. As years gone by, people will tell you it's always been the way. But it could have been very, very different. And that's what people are moaning about. And I understand it. I do get the negativity. I do understand why people are saying about all this. But we just have to look at the situation as it is. And, we're going to move on to Liverpool. And God help us, we can try and put something near a fully fit squad together, or at least as strong as possible. And hopefully Silva comes back. Hopefully Christensen's going to be all right. And Conte will be fit to start next to Kovacic. But I guess we have to wait and see. So transfers have just gone through the roof. Transfer rumours. Starting with the Chelsea players that currently exist within our squad. And I say currently because there's 1 or 2 or possibly 3 now that could be moving away at the end of the season. Now, as we know, let's start with TONI Rudiger. TONI Rudiger is pretty much making it clear that he's going to go and join Real Madrid and join up with David Alaba and become their defensive unit. Now, Rudiger wants extortionate amount of money. Chelsea are not going to give that to him. Real Madrid will do so on a free transfer. It's reportedly being around £250,000 a week. There's rumours that he's already signed a pre-contract with Real Madrid, so forget TONI Rudiger being at Chelsea beyond this season. I can't see any other solution for Chelsea giving him that amount of money. I think Chelsea just look to bring somebody else in, or maybe somebody else forward like Malang Sarr, for example. Then you've got CESAR AZPILICUETA, and it's being reported that he signed a pre-contract with Barcelona in a move to take him back to Spain, having spent most of his career in France and then, of course, in England with Chelsea. And Azpi has just been a revelation. We talk about players that have come into Chelsea for minimal fees and the contribution they make. And Gary Cahill was one of them at 7 million. Azpi, the same, around 7 million for Marseille. And what that guy's given to us as a right back, as a left back, and as a centre half has been quite literally outstanding. And if he wants to go at the end of the season, I think every single Chelsea fan will wish him well and also thank him for his contribution because he has been a stalwart. Jose Mourinho once said about his attitude, if he could have 11 AZPILICUETAs, it would be a dream. And Azpi still trains exactly the same every single day and still gives what he can. He's going to be called upon for whatever reason. Will it be as a centre-half? Will it be as a right wing-back or a left wing-back? Well, I guess we have to wait and see. But Azpi, it looks as though he's going to be off, signing a pre-contract with Barcelona. There's also interest reportedly in Christensen with Barcelona. And the Andreas Christensen situation for me is slightly sort of bit confusing really, because reports are that Chelsea had a 5-year deal on the table for him and he was going to be quite happy with it and get it signed and done until his agent got in his ear and said, Why don't you ask him for 3 years, not 5? Because by then you'll be 27, 28, and you can then negotiate your final big contract to take you into your 30s. And it seems as though he's got into Christensen's mind, and Christensen has gone with it. And that's where the stalemate has come between Chelsea and Andreas Christensen. But we hope that can be resolved and get this contract done and get Christensen signed up, because we need him. He has been outstanding. I have to say that. Absolutely outstanding under Thomas Tuchel. Barkley, Everton want him, probably on loan, with Chelsea looking to bring Luka back across into London the other way as part of a replacement for the injured Ben Chilwell. Will Barkley jump at the chance to go back with Rafa the Gaffer and Everton? Probably. I think because he hasn't done nothing much at Chelsea, let's be honest. We have to be honest about it. So Barkley will probably go back to Everton, and we're looking at Luka coming into Chelsea. Another player that's being linked with Chelsea is Raphinha, the Leeds winger, and I'm not sure about that. It's one thing playing well for Leeds, no disrespect to them, or really don't really care. Coming into Chelsea and being that player and being somebody of an influence, you have to look at them and say, will they provide instant competition for places within the squad? Hudson-Odoi, Pulisic and Ziyech, as it stands at the moment, are the only wide players, or the players that can play naturally wide. I guess with Timo Werner as well. Is Raphinha going to oust any one of those players? Probably people are thinking Callum Hudson-Odoi based on his performance last night, but not for me. Raphinha, can't really see it. Don't really want it, to be fair, because I don't think he's good enough for us. And that's probably just being a bit obnoxious, but just being honest. So, no thanks. Now, the big story that's come out recently, or I say recently, in the last couple of hours, is Romelu Lukaku has given an interview to Sky Sport over in Italy. And he's explained that he's not happy with his current situation at Chelsea. Now, we've heard there was a bit of a bust-up with him and Thomas Tuchel, because he's been saying he's been fit to come on and play. Tuchel didn't play him for whatever reason. There's argy-bargy. And it's all come down to this interview that Lukaku has given. And it's been a little bit misconstrued with the headlines saying that he wants to go back to Inter. What he said is that he wants to go back to Inter while he's still playing at the top of his career, not at the end of his career, whenever that will be. But what he's actually said about his situation at Chelsea is this. He said, after 2 years in Italy, in which I worked a lot of Inter with trainers and nutritionalists, I'm physically fine, but I'm not happy with the situation. I think this is normal. I think the coach has chosen to play with another system. I just won't give up. I'll continue to be professional. I am not happy with the situation, but I'm a worker and I must not give up. Then he started talking about how the Inter fans been great to him, how much he loves them, how much he didn't mean to disrespect them when he left and all that sort of stuff. And the comment that he made about going back and playing there while he's still at a top level before he comes to the end of his career. So Lukaku's not happy, and he's talking about the current situation, and he's also talking about the different system. Now, what system did he expect Thomas Tuchel to play? We all know Tuchel plays 3-4-3. We all know that he plays 2 number 10s in behind the main striker. And there's a necessity for that striker to push on a little bit, and the number 10s to roam around him. As we saw last night with his link-up play with Mason Mount, for example, and Hudson-Odoi at times. Now, Lukaku has always said that he likes to drop off the defensive line, pick the ball up, turn, and run at players, as he did against Aston Villa emphatically well when he won the penalty, but also a time before that. He wants to pick up the ball, turn, and then run at defenders and see everything in front of him. He's being asked at the moment to play further forward, and that's not his game, which I understand. But, I mean, what does he expect with Thomas Tuchel? Thomas Tuchel's not going to switch a formation to a back four and play 4-3-3, which I think is what our squad is primed to do. But the back three is set in stone. Maybe in the summer with the likes of Rudiger going, depending on who he's got as options, if he's going to stick with it or make a change. But I guess we have to wait and see. But Lukaku is spouting off that he's not happy. It's coming up to a transfer window. I can't see Chelsea willing to entertain any moves by Inter to take him back unless the player wants to hand in a transfer request. But will he really do that? He said no, he's a professional. He's going to get on with it and get his head down and continue to work because he must not give up. So Lukaku, not happy. Tuchel's been fuming about the current situation, the games they have to play. He's also fuming about the fact that the injuries of players, as I've said, and this sort of thing, need to use the squad a bit. And he should have done it last night against Brighton, but didn't do it. Saul, Barkley, Havertz for a half. Didn't do it. So, I mean, what else is there to say? Other than there's so much going on at the moment with Chelsea. There's so much negativity with Chelsea. But what it all comes down to at the moment, when the dust settles in the morning and as we turn the clock at midnight and we move into the year 2022 and we look at Chelsea where we are now and compare that to when we turned into 2021 last year, the same time last year, where we were then to where we are now, being European champions for a second time, is massive. The difference we've got in league position is also massive. Yes, we've dropped loads and loads of points. So has Man City. We're 8 points behind them. We play them currently in the next couple of weeks. Beat them, it goes down to 5. There's such a long way to go. And when Chelsea get all their players back, fully fit, then I will tell you this, Chelsea will challenge for as many trophies as possible. It doesn't look like it's going to be much at the minute because of all the problems that we've got, but we have to keep positive, and that's what you need to do heading into the new year. Yes, there's negativity. Yes, there's bad performances. Yes, there's drop points. Yes, there's COVID. Yes, there's injuries. Yes, there's people that want to leave the club, but at the end of the day, managers, players come and go. It's the club and the supporters that remain, and we need to be optimistic. When everybody's fully fit, our squad is up there with the best in the Premier League, and we'll have options, again, to change in game and to get these games won and go on a long run between now and the end of the season. Who's to say we're not going to turn up and beat Liverpool? Who's to say we won't beat Man City? We've done it before, 3 times under Tuchel last year, including the Champions League final. So let's just take stock of everything. Let's just step back a little bit. Let's just try and have our positive heads on heading into the new year. And I wish every single one of you a happy new year from me, Chels Daft. And hopefully you have a good night. And then I will join you on Sunday. If you're a member of my channel, if you're not, go to my channel homepage and click the join button. It's just 99 pence, less than £1 a month to become a member. And you'll have access to the live match commentary, Liverpool, coming up on Sunday, and the chat and the fantastic community. So hopefully, guys, it's been nearly 20 minutes, this video. Non-edited, non-cut. I'm sitting here with a plaster on my face. Cut myself shaving. Like a bit of a melon, but just going to do it because it needs to be done. So hopefully you've enjoyed the video. You've realised that my chair's been dropping down, sliding down as the video goes on and on. But, you know, we have to get on with these things. And if you've never seen my video before and you stick with it this long, I'm quite laid back with stuff, as you can see. So hopefully you've enjoyed the content. Hopefully I've made some good points. Hopefully I've sort of triggered your brain to making a comment, because make all the comments in the comment section below. Smash the like button for me. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. But also make sure that you click that join button and become a member of my channel. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Have a fantastic New Year's Eve, and I'll see you on the 2nd for Liverpool. Enjoy your evening. Thanks for watching. Appreciate every single one of you. Bye from me.